I never thought my marriage would end with a glowing phone screen in the dead of night. For years, I convinced myself that my wife, Emily, was loyal, that the whispers of doubt in my head were nothing but insecurity. She was warm, attentive, always smiling when we went out with friends, always laughing with me at dinner. But beneath that mask, something sinister was brewing, and I had been too blind to see it. The first red flag came when Emily started guarding her phone like it held the keys to her soul. She never used to care if I picked it up to Google something or check the weather, but suddenly, she kept it on silent, face down, and carried it with her even when she went to the bathroom. I asked her about it once, half joking, and she brushed it off with a laugh, calling me paranoid. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe that the woman I had vowed to spend my life with wasn't capable of betrayal. But one night, the universe decided I had suffered enough lies. Emily had fallen asleep on the couch after a long day. Her phone, for the first time in months, lay unattended on the coffee table. My heart pounded as I picked it up. A part of me screamed to put it down, that I would regret whatever I found. But another part, the part tired of being gaslit, tired of the constant gnawing suspicion, forced me to unlock it. And there it was. Message after message, thread after thread, her words painted a picture I could no longer deny. She wasn't just flirting with another man. She was living an entire double life. His name was Daniel. They called each other soulmates, shared private jokes, exchanged photos that twisted my stomach into knots. She told him things she hadn't told me in years, about her dreams, her frustrations, even about me. In one message, she laughed about how clueless I was, how I trusted her too much. The betrayal cut deeper than any blade ever could. My hands shook as I scrolled, every line of text pulling me further into a reality I never wanted. I realized in that moment that Emily hadn't just cheated on me physically. She had destroyed the very foundation of our bond. The woman I thought was my partner, my confidant, had turned me into a joke. And yet, as much as my blood boiled, I didn't wake her. I didn't confront her right there. Instead, I quietly put the phone back, stared at her sleeping face, and felt a hollow emptiness spread inside me. The marriage was over. I just hadn't told her yet. The next morning, Emily woke up as if nothing had happened. She smiled, kissed my cheek, and asked if I wanted pancakes. I looked at her, pretending to be the same husband she thought I was, but inside I felt like I was staring at a stranger. I had always believed betrayal would make me explode in rage, but instead, I felt strangely calm. Too calm. That calmness was more terrifying than any outburst. All day, I replayed her messages in my head. The way she called Daniel, the one person who really gets me. The way she ridiculed me, as if I were some obstacle in the way of her happiness. I couldn't bear the thought of sitting across the table from her, smiling like a fool, while she secretly laughed at me with him. That night, while she was showering, I started planning. Not for confrontation, not for revenge, not even for closure. I planned my escape. I realized nothing I said would change her. Nothing I screamed would undo the months, maybe years of lies. What I could control was myself. I decided I would not give her the satisfaction of seeing me broken. I would disappear from her life without warning, without explanation. She would wake up one day and I would be gone. My love, my trust, my presence, all vanished like smoke. For the next week, I lived a double life of my own. During the day, I played the role of husband, pretending to laugh at her jokes, nodding when she spoke. At night, I quietly gathered the essentials, important documents, cash I had hidden away, the few personal items I couldn't leave behind. I found an apartment across town, signed the lease, and set the move-in date. Every detail was arranged with precision. Meanwhile, Emily grew bolder. I could see her texting Daniel at the dinner table, her eyes lighting up in ways they hadn't for me in years. She thought she was clever, thought I was too trusting to ever question her. If only she knew that every word she sent him was the reason I was building my exit. The night before I left, I stood in our bedroom, watching her sleep again. She looked peaceful, innocent even, as if she hadn't been stabbing me in the back every single day. For a brief moment, I wondered if I should wake her, tell her I knew everything, demand answers. But then I remembered the messages, the laughter at my expense, the way she mocked the love I had given her. There was nothing left to say. When the dawn broke, I picked up my bags, walked out the door, and never looked back. I didn't leave a note. I didn't send a message. I wanted silence to be the loudest answer she would ever get from me. When Emily woke up that morning, she probably reached out to my side of the bed, expecting me to still be there. But all she would have found was emptiness. The same emptiness she had created between us long before I walked away. The first few days in my new apartment felt surreal. I wasn't sure if I was free or if I was lost. The walls were bare, the air smelled unfamiliar, and at night the silence pressed down on me like a weight. For years, my life had revolved around her routines, her moods, her presence. Now all of that was gone. It hurt, but it was also liberating. Slowly, I realized that every breath I took without her lies suffocating me was a step toward reclaiming myself. I didn't block her number right away. Part of me wanted to see what she would say when she realized I had vanished. By the second day, the calls started. First just a few, then dozens, then frantic messages. "Where are you? Please call me back." Then came anger. "How dare you leave like this?" And finally desperation. "I made a mistake, I need you, please don't do this." But her words meant nothing. She hadn't made a mistake. Mistakes are accidents. What she did was a choice, a repeated, deliberate betrayal. Each message she sent only reminded me that if I had stayed, I would still be living a lie. And I had promised myself I would never again let her, or anyone, make me feel like I wasn't enough. I changed my number the following week, deleted her from every part of my life. She was a ghost now, and I refused to let her haunt me any longer. Instead of wasting my energy on anger, I focused on rebuilding myself. I threw myself into my work, reconnected with old friends I had lost touch with, and even picked up hobbies I had abandoned when I was too busy trying to keep her happy. Piece by piece, I became someone stronger than the man who once begged for her love. Sometimes at night, the memories came back. The way she used to laugh when we first met, the promises she made about forever. But I reminded myself those promises had already been pawned off to someone else, just like the love she claimed to give me. And every time the sadness crept in, I reminded myself of the moment I walked out that door. That was the moment I chose myself over her betrayal. Months later, I heard from a mutual friend that Daniel had eventually left her, that she was alone, bitter, telling people she didn't understand why I had abandoned her without a word. The irony almost made me laugh. She spent so much time mocking me, belittling me, and running to another man, only to end up with nothing. But by then I didn't care. I wasn't living in the past anymore. I had no desire to seek revenge, no interest in her downfall. The best revenge I could ever have was exactly what I was doing, living free, living true, living without her. And that's how it ended. Not with a dramatic confrontation, not with screaming or tears, but with silence and a closed door, and a man who finally realized that walking away was the most powerful thing he could ever do.